ジョージョーの野郎。鬼姫が完全にぶっ潰しやがって。
Oh my god. Hello everyone, welcome to Joe Consumes Cinema. I am your host, back with a vengeance, and today we have Primal, Season 3, Episode 3. So we took a really long break after we filmed the first 2 episodes, and yeah, I've had time to, digest everything, and I think very shortly we're going to get a reunion between Fang and Spear. Now, Spear was wandering around, trying to make sense of, glimpses of past memory. He has that cool little waking dream moment where he's in the desert and he sees his former self, and it's like he gets these glimpses of his past, but not enough to, fully grab a hold of it. And, our zombie hero is just wandering around, and I know at some point we have to get something that restores, his youth or vitality in some way so that he's something at least approximate to what he once was, because there's no way they're just going to have, zombie Spear walking around this entire season. There's got to be some way back for him. I don't know what that is. Probably some type of magic. I mean, he was revived with magic, so, you got to figure. But yeah, I'm eager to get back to it, so let's just get right to it. Feast of Flesh. Yeah, more glimpses of the past. He can't see it all clearly yet, though. I guess he has this emotional connection with Fang, but he can't fully visualize who or what it is. Oh shit. You fucked up, iguana. That was cool, though. It recognized the pattern on the grasshopper, like the color pattern, similar to the color pattern on Fang. Oh shit. It's a literal chud. Well, it was. Let's see if there are more of them, though. Yeah, there are more of them. Here comes the swarm. Oh, God. They didn't eat him? I guess they're saving him for later? Put him in, like, the meat locker or whatever? Oh god, that was his arm? It's gonna eat the grasshopper and piss him off, isn't it? Come on, little guy, you can do it. Oh, that was close. Ugh, man. Get fucked. He's gonna kill all these little motherfuckers. Spear with his spear is unstoppable. Yeah. He's burying him. Loss of a friend, but more than that, like family. Oh, dear God. He's got so many wounds. The tooth. That's cool. He literally turns them into a step ladder. Yeah, there's more than one of them, dude. Quick reminder to like, comment, share, subscribe. Also consider signing up for my Patreon. For $1 per month, you get access to all my exclusive reactions, also a guaranteed movie request. With that, let's get right back to the reaction. Okay, I took some time just to gather my thoughts. Episode 3, really good one. So, more of the same for the most part. He's slowly picking up, fragments of his past memory. He can feel this emotional connection with Fang, but he doesn't know what it is exactly. Like, he can't fully see what Fang is, but he sees, like, hints and shades of it. So it's interesting, he befriends a grasshopper this episode, and you think, okay, that's kind of dumb. It really isn't. He recognizes the pattern on the grasshopper's, like, abdomen, kind of similar in a lot of ways to the pattern that's on Fang, like the color pattern. And because of that, he kind of fixates on it and, sort of slowly becomes its friend, saves its life from that iguana, and then, falls down that hole, encounters those chuds, those cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers, and, he's fighting for his life. He quickly gets overwhelmed by, like, the swarm of them, right? And then he's, like, hung up, upside down to eventually be eaten. Once the grasshopper shows up, like, I guess just out of, like, curiosity or whatever, the chuds go into, ape shit mode and they try and kill it. This then gets up his ire and he manages to break free. Now, they rip the flesh off of his right hand, so it's, like, skeletal, but it's still functional because, like, he's a zombie and, he's brought back with magic, so it's not as if he's going to disintegrate or anything like that, at least not anytime soon. And he starts going apeshit himself, slowly killing them all. One of them, manages to unfortunately kill the grasshopper. This then sends him into beast mode. He manages to grab a spear. And, his old instinct, he was really, really good with the spear, so he just starts chopping them up like nothing. By the end of it, they're all dead, and, he's burying his friend. And, he can feel this connection emotionally with Fang, with his past. He just can't, fully see all the details and doesn't have the full recovered memory. But it's getting better, more and more over time. He's slowly turning into, the old spear that we all came to love and know. He literally uses their bodies as like a stool, builds a big mound of them and then climbs out of that pit. And then he realizes there are more grasshoppers, so it's like not a complete, like, dark, unhappy ending. And he realizes that there's still a connection out there that he has to find. He grabbed that necklace off the ground of one of those skeletons. It was a fang, and immediately, triggered another memory. Slowly over time, more and more, we're getting our old spear back. It's going to take time, and I think, He's eventually gonna, connect with Fang, or even, Mira would probably be best, honestly, in terms of actually helping him. Fang might, attack him, not realizing who he is. Like, he's a rotting corpse that's, literally falling apart. He literally had to wrap this band around him. He actually gave himself clothes, which was interesting. But like his liver like fell out of him from the gaping wound. So yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. Another good episode, and I think pretty soon we're gonna get the reunion, and hopefully it's Mira, because she's probably gonna be more understanding and ultimately helpful. If it's Fang, there's a decent chance Fang just attacks Spear. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Joe Consumes Cinema. I'm your host, Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dweller, and today we have Primal, Season 3, Episode 4. Really like the last episode, more of, him navigating through past memories, trying to, fully grasp what he's lost and, make that connection once more with an old friend, his family. I'm hoping that the reunion that we eventually get is not actually Fang and Spear, at least not right away. I'm hoping it's Mira and Spear, because she's going to be more understanding and probably helpful in the moment. Fang, I think there's a decent chance Fang just attacks Spear, like straight up. He's a rotting corpse that's walking around. I don't think Fang will recognize Spear, for who he is, and will think it's a threat and attack him. Pray for the wicked. These are Mira's people. This is a good sign. I'm pretty sure they are. Is this Spear's funeral? That's Mira. Fang and Cubs. Aww. Actually mourns him. The fact that they have such a complex relationship should be impossible. Just like the circumstances that they met and everything that they've been through. It's like he domesticated a dinosaur. That should be impossible, but here we are. I like how you can see the story written over top of the tomb. He saved all these people. Saying goodbye in her own way. There we go. Oh shit, Mom don't like that. Pregnant again. I think luckily this kid is a lot like your dad. What are these, wild boars? Yeah. These things are huge. Get fucked. There you go. I think they're taking volunteers for a rescue team. I'm not sure if that girl was Fang's daughter, or we just are not at a point yet where Fang's daughter has been born. We got an archer. Of course Fang is gonna go. Not the kids. They can track, though. They're saving them for something. Something much bigger. Ugh. Is that the shaman dude from the start of this? Yeah. Are they gonna undo whatever the spell was? Yeah, this is the place. These are the monkeys. Yeah, she volunteered for this despite the fact that she's pregnant. Really bad timing. Yeah, this is a dream. Nice. Well, they don't kill them immediately. They take them back to the nest. Problem is there are so many of them. Never mind. In comes Fang. Shit. Damn it. This is looking bad. Something spooked them off. Is it Spear? Oh my god. That's awesome. Oh no. Okay, I took some time just to gather my thoughts. Episode 4, really, really good. So, despite the fact that there's no dialogue, right, it actually does really, really well conveying emotion. And, there's a couple really good examples in this episode. So, I'm not quite sure the whole timeline thing. Like, it showed during the course of this episode that we're somewhere, right after the events of when Spear was brought back. We saw the shaman and those dead monkeys, like, all around him. And, they reacted immediately with fear and said voodoo and then, did that thing, like, circle around it and then lit a fire or whatever. Mira is pregnant, and that fact, there's a scene where, it occurs to Fang that she is pregnant, and immediately, very protective and also wanting to comfort her. And that's really cool and interesting. And like I said, no dialogue throughout the entire show. Well, dialogue, but that they don't actually translate anything to anything. So when they were volunteering and saying, something to the effect of, I will go, whatever. They don't actually translate it, which is really cool. No dialogue, but it still conveys emotion in these pretty clever and subtle ways. Like, I love this type of storytelling because it forces you to show, don't tell, which is a good rule that you should generally follow. You don't have to follow it universally, but in this case, there's no other choice. Like, you have to do it this way. And it does it really, really well. I'm not sure if that was, Mira and Spear's daughter, or if that was just some other villager, that was playing with, the dinosaurs there. I really don't know. And, Mira is pregnant with the second child of Spear. Not sure. It could be the case, it could not be. At first, I was getting Spear vibes from the way the kid was acting, like, running around with the little dinosaurs and, holding that spear up and being fearless and all that. It definitely gave, Spear vibes. I just don't know 100%. But yeah, this episode, pretty cool. They get attacked by these wild boars who kidnap villagers to bring them back to the nest. There's this big, mother boar that feasts on them, and then, they get to drink the milk. pretty gross at times, but it's Primal. It doesn't really hold anything back in that regard. But yeah, these volunteers, these warriors, Mira goes along with them. Of course, Fang and, her children go. They're initially putting up a really good fight, but these boars, it just like near endless. They just keep coming. And then something spooks them off. And I initially thought, okay, maybe it is finally time to have that reunion. Sure enough, out of the shadows he comes, lumbering forward. And everyone is shocked. Fang is angry. Like I said, there's a good chance that Fang will just view him as a threat, not realizing that, it's Spear. Again, he's a decomposing corpse just walking around, so it's understandable that she would be very defensive. I think next episode there's a decent shot that Fang actually attacks Spear and we get a little bit of a fight. Hopefully Mira can break it up and, the realization of who it is will sink in. It might not be too easy, but I think we're eventually going to get there. And yeah, I'm eager to get right to the next one, so as always, thanks for watching, and peace.